Wondering if you'll fit in Roanoke?
Well, today we're going to share with you some things that only the locals know, so you can decide.
Every city has something that makes it unique, makes it charming and fun, and Roanoke is no different. That's what we're going to share with you today.
We've got a few of those and we're going to jump right in right now. Hey, real quick, it's Hal and Chris. If you're interested in buying or selling in Roanoke, make sure you reach out to us with the contact information on the screen.
And be sure to take the neighborhood quiz that's in the description below to find out what part of Roanoke will be best for you. Let's start with Mill Mountain Star. You can see it in the background here. This is Mill Mountain. It's right downtown, and on top of it sits a giant illuminated star. Built in 1949 as a holiday decoration, residents loved it so much, we decided to make it stay. And you know what? It has been a beacon in our valley ever since. It glows illuminated every night, and it is just so fun. You can hike up there to the top, and there's lots of activities on top of Mill Mountain. You know, there's another interesting nickname that Roanoke has too that has to do with its historical roots, and that is called Magic City, because when the railroad came through here, it created this boom in the city, and Roanoke really exploded. So lots of railroad culture and influence. As a matter of fact, we had a client that moved here and wanted to be right in front of a railroad, live right on the railroad track, and we got that.
Yeah, we made it happen.
Yeah,
it came up, multiple offer situation, and we got them in that house, so they love it. So with that being said, transportation is huge here. We've got Transportation Museum, but because of the railroad, that's how Roanoke saw a lot of success in its early years.
Okay, we hopped over to the Museum of Transportation because we wanted to tell you about another nickname that Roanoke used to have. It was called Magic City, because when the railroad came through, the city just boomed. Boom. And another quirky thing in this shot, can you see the rocket? I'm not sure the history of this rocket. If anybody knows, let me know, but you'll find a lot at the Museum of Transportation. Let's move on to something a little more quirky. What do you think?
Oh yeah, sure, yeah. So I'm gonna talk about food, so I'll get to start off this one because, you know, I like to eat yummy, yummy for my tummy. But let's talk about the Texas Tavern. It is a rite of passage that you have to visit it and get something while you're there. And my recommendation would be a cheesy Western.
Oh yeah.
If you don't know what that is, it is a cheeseburger with a fried egg on top. And if that doesn't tickle your fancy, then you can get 2 dogs walking and they'll hook you up.
Yeah, definitely order like that.
Yeah.
Just take our word for it.
And they're open 24 hours a day, I think 365 days a year probably,
Yeah,
just like Waffle House. So you can go there morning, noon, night, or whenever.
And sometimes there's like grumpy customer service, which makes it even more endearing. So
depending upon what you like.
I want to talk about the Dog Salvage. And this is a retail store you may be familiar with because it was featured on DIY Network's Salvage Dogs. And they have such an eclectic mix, reclaimed materials, usually from historic homes or anything that's going to be torn down. So really cool, very creative place. And a lot of people come here just to shop there. So that's a great spot.
Yeah, and they've actually have an Airbnb right next door.
Yes.
And then they also have a concert venue in the back. So whenever they've got concerts going on, you can get food, beverages, and hang out. I think it might be the Dog Pit. Don't hold me to that, but it's
I think it's a Dog Bowl.
Dog Bowl, there we go. Okay, so good job.
I want to talk about that quirky building you saw in the beginning shot. That was the Taubman Museum of Art. It has a very impressive collection, and that modern architecture really drove some conversation in the Roanoke Valley.
Absolutely, yeah. It depends upon which, you may be on one side of the aisle or the other when it comes to Taubman Museum, but I'm thrilled that we have it because they offer some great exhibits, right?
They're avant-garde exhibits and they're really fun collections. Make this a place that you want to go year-round. And even just the atrium is super impressive. Lots of exhibits, lots of events that they have here. It's just a great place. And personally, I love the architecture.
That's right, yeah. And so that's just a big part of the artistic community here in the Roanoke Valley. All right, so let's transition from artistic to a little bit quirky for a perfect photo opportunity at the Coffee Pot, which is over in Grandin Court. And you're gonna wanna actually Go for the food, but stay for the live music.
Yeah, this is a really fun photo op. Like you said, it's just a giant coffee pot, which is really cool.
Yes.
That roadhouse attraction, I like that.
Lo and behold, we made it inside a Texas Tavern just for you guys today, exclusively, where they feed 1,000 people a day, 10 at a time.
Yeah, and guess what? Ladies enjoy eating here too.
Yeah, and make sure when you're here, I talked about the cheesy Western earlier, make sure you get their world famous chili as well. So that's an option for food. And you know, like I said, fills my belly and tastes oh so good.
Let's talk about a few other places and things that are served that you'll only find probably in Roanoke. I like to think of spoonbread. This is a southern delicacy. It's kind of like cornbread, but you eat it with a spoon, and it's really good with honey served on it. And you can find that at the Hotel Roanoke. Another thing that I think is really unique to our area is the peanut soup. If you haven't tried this, you have to. I love it. It's nice and buttery. It's got that peanut flavor, of course. And this is a nod to our agricultural roots here in Virginia.
Yeah, and I was gonna say the first time I ever ate a Hotel Roanoke, she's like, you gotta try the peanut soup. And I was like, that is gonna be so disgusting. But guess what? I ate it and I absolutely loved it. So and let's talk about country ham and red gravy.
Yeah,
if you're used to city ham, which is sugary and sweet, for country ham, it is loaded with salt. You cook it down and you use those drippings along with coffee of all things to make red gravy. And honestly, I learned that today as far as like the meaning of the red with that coffee in it.
Yeah, that's interesting. I guess the coffee like deglazes the pan, so you get that full flavor. So great breakfast. I want to talk about something else that's a simple dish and something that my family eats all the time. It's pinto beans and cornbread. So beans and cornbread. I feel like there's a song about this, but I don't know. Anyways, pinto beans, cornbread, really easy to whip up. My parents eat this after a long day working out in the yard or something, but we usually have white beans. So I think they're like navy beans, or what are they? Like cannelli beans or something. Great northern beans. That's what we do. And then we load it with ketchup. So is that a southern thing? Y'all let me know.
To say, if it's northern cannelli beans, I don't think so.
I think it's great northern. Again, it's one of those cultural things, I guess.
We put our own little twist on it. All right, let's talk about chow chow for a second. Southern delicacy. It's a relish. It's made of green tomatoes, peppers, and cabbage, and some other vegetables. And I don't think I ever knew that it had green tomatoes in it because I actually eat it. And if you know me, I don't like raw tomatoes, but I'll eat it in chow chow. Put it on hot dogs, burgers, other things like that. So great condiment that is local to the area, I guess.
Yeah, and one fruit I want to tell you about that's local, you're only going to find it in the South here, is the pawpaw. It's so good. It has like an avocado or a custard consistency, but it is kind of a mix between a banana and a mango. I recently just had one for the first time while I was camping last year, and it was incredible. Unique texture, but really incredible.
And let's talk about ramps, which are indigenous to the Appalachian region. They are leeks, they're an onion, and they're super tangy and flavorful when it comes to wild onions. You can only get it in this area.
Yeah, you can forage a lot in this area. I mean, we have so many forested areas. You can check those out. Lots of mushroom harvesting here and foraging. So let's talk about these southern phrases. You're gonna fit in like a glove if you use some of this vernacular like y'all. But here's some other sayings for you. Knee high by the 4th of July. And this is referring to an agricultural term that the corn should reach about that height for it to be a good harvest.
Yeah, and this is perfect. We're filming on the 4th of July. So, I mean, we'll go out and check some of these cornfields out today and see what they look like. Another one is make hay while the sun shines. So you want to make sure that you take advantage of those favorable conditions, especially when it comes to making hay.
That's right. Another one my parents said over and over again and still say.
And I still say.
And then we say to our children, you better mind your P's and Q's. That means better be on good behavior. I think it dates back to, bartenders and those taverns and pubs. They needed to mind whether they're doing pints or quarts and serving those up. So, yeah.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, and then one of my favorite, this even comes from South Georgia too, bless your heart.
Oh, the quintessential Southern
That's right.
phrase.
Yes, it is. And it can be used sincerely or it can also be used sarcastically. So you got to be paying attention to how your friends and family or acquaintances might be using it, depending upon the day.
Another endearing phrase that I use, especially after Thanksgiving, is full as a tick. I know that sounds random, but it's alluding to the fact of, you know, when ticks like gorge on blood, gross, I know, but you feel so full, like you ate too much, then you're full as a tick.
Yeah, and another, one of my favorite sayings is gonna be, good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, you know? So it's like, as long as everything is favorable, the conditions are favorable, that type of thing, then we're gonna make it to whatever we're end goal we're looking for, unless something unforeseen happens, right? And that would be that creek rising on you, right?
So what do you think? Do you learn a little bit about our area, our culture, our vernacular? I hope so, and we'll see you on the next video.